So my hair's down because I was just about to get into bed and take a nap. And then I remembered that I actually forgot to tell the most interesting part of why yesterday was so eventful, which was that after going through the whole process of getting my car in Gubbio, which is, protected city. I think I talked about this before. You can't park near the apartment. Of getting locked inside the bottom of the apartment, the lowest level of the apartment building with my luggage, which I just carried down multiple flights of stairs and then had to carry back up again. A lot of just ridiculous choices, but I did finally safely get my luggage into the car. Got the car out of town through these very narrow streets. Got to the cell phone place where I finally got myself a new SIM card, although I haven't actually been able to put it into my phone yet and activate it. Was finally leaving Gubbio. I texted my friend to say I'm on the way. Left the parking lot. Google Maps directed me immediately onto a forbidden street. And I didn't realize right away. There was a fence. There was sort of a fence, but I didn't notice the sign on the way in because I was just, excited about leaving town and relieved. And, realized when I saw some people walking in the middle of the street and said, oh my God, I'm not supposed to be driving here. Looked down at my phone to figure out what to do. And then right at that moment, ran over a pole or piece of fencing that had fallen into the road, and I hadn't seen it. And because I was looking down, not for long, it was just for a second. I looked down, drove over a piece of pipe, it bounced up, hit the bottom of the car, made this gigantic thud. And I'm terrified that I've broken the car. It's a smart car, so it's little, easily broken, I think. I get out, I look around, no dents, no nothing. Oh my God, somehow, maybe it was just a thud of the wheels going over this pipe. I'm super lucky. I thank my stars. I get myself out of the forbidden area. I get back on I get on the highway. The second I get above 30 miles per hour, thud, 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 underneath the car. So I limp my way with my hazard lights on over to an off-ramp, which just keeps going and going and going. And meanwhile, there's thuds dragging. I'm terrified about what's happening underneath this car, I pull over to the side of the road on an off-ramp because I can't go any farther. Kneel down on the middle of the wet road after the storm from the night before. Get my head under the car, and there's clearly a piece broken. It looks like it's plastic, but there is a plastic something broken completely in half that's just dragging on the ground. And of course, I'm terrified, right? Because, I have a reservation for a town that day that's 2 hours away. Nowhere to stay in Gubbio, and I don't want to have to put everything back in the apartment again after what I've just been through. Besides the fact that when I signed up for the car, I didn't take the extra special full coverage insurance, so however much it costs, I'm liable for that, which is still true. I still don't know how much it's going to be. So, and also I'm still having these problems with the internet, right? I bought a new SIM card, but I don't have a way to get it in. I don't have a way to activate it because I don't have internet access. And I have a little bit of data credits left, but they're just running through like crazy anytime I turn my phone onto roaming. And so I'm terrified of I call, thank God I have the phone number for the rental car agency guy saved in my phone. So I call him, tell him what's happened. He says, okay, I'll find a mechanic for you. Meanwhile, I'm waiting on the side of the road, and I can't even figure out why the hazard light's on because it's a new smart car. I haven't, and I'm just sitting there, an easy target on the side of the road, hoping I don't get hit by a car coming around and not seeing me. I'm waiting for him to call me back. He hasn't called me back. Finally, I go, okay, I can still use Google Maps. I'm going to find a mechanic. I find a mechanic only 3 minutes away. Great. I drive over there, going very, very slow with my hazard lights on, pull up to the front, clearly only a mechanic for motorcycles. So I'm back to square one. Finally, I get a phone call from Claudio. That's the rental car agency guy. He says, okay, I found you a mechanic. They're waiting for you. Fantastic. I look at the directions. 9 minutes away. Okay, perfect. get on, start driving, discover that the entire 9 minutes are on the freeway. So I'm now on this 2-lane freeway, which luckily they were wide lanes. So I was squeezed all the way over to one side as far as I could go with my hazard lights on so everyone can just pass me, limp my way to this mechanic. What's supposed to be a 9-minute drive is like a 20-minute drive. I finally get there. Thank goodness, yes. After a little explanation, nobody there speaks English, but I speak enough Italian that I'm able to make myself understood. And he says, well, I want to look at your car, but all of the car lifts, they're taken right now. And I am holding back tears at this point because he's asking me, are you still in town for another day? He's looking at ways that, like, he's expecting it's going to take a day to get this car fixed. And I'm like, look, I don't have a place to stay tonight. I'm supposed to drive to this next town. It's a 2-hour drive. I mean, if I can't drive the car, it is what it is. But I can't stay here and come back tomorrow. So he goes, okay. He goes and gets jacks and hand cranks it up. I mean, it's a smart car, so it's very small, but still, he hand cranks it up on jacks, takes a look underneath. I'm sure it didn't take that long, but for me, it felt like I was sitting in the office waiting for hours, They come and offer me coffee. They were very, very kind. And he comes back and he's like, well, it's the plastic covering underneath the engine. It's a dust cover that's broken. I say, okay. And he says, it's not necessary to drive it. I can take it right off, take me 5 minutes, put it in a box for you. When you're done with the car, you can take it, show the box to the mechanic at the rental agency. It'll be fine. I'm like, seriously? He's like, yeah, you don't need it to drive. No, it's fine. Just a dust cover, just drive gently. So he takes it off, puts it in a box for me. I say, do I need to pay you? Oh, no. Let the rental agency, we'll tell the rental agency how much it was. Okay. So after all of that, total panic attack, furiously swearing at myself for being such an idiot for looking away from the road for even a second in Italy. I'm back on the road. It only wasted about 90 minutes. So I get back on the road, and this time, instead of letting Google Maps take me to the insanely windy, all dirt and cobblestone country roads that it took me the first time that I drove to Montappone, I say, okay, this time I'll pay the tolls. It's fine. Take me wherever I want to go on the main highways. As it turned out, there weren't any tolls, and it was beautiful, very straight, easy highway almost the whole way. It was a pleasure. I got to drive past Assisi. I got to drive past all these beautiful cities that you can see up on the hills. Made it to Montappone in the afternoon. Met my friend Seva. We got dinner. We walked around a little bit. He had brought me wine again because I told him the story of what had happened. Both times I arrived in Montappone, it's like immediately after a disaster that I'm super just incredibly stressed out and terrified and tense. And so he shows up with wine, which was wonderful. And it turned out to be a really nice night, But by the end of it, I was just destroyed. Not to mention, last night, finally, this was the night after that, I got 6 hours of sleep, 6 whole hours in one night, which was like a miracle because I've been sleeping literally 3 or 4 hours a night. I fall asleep at a normal hour and then I wake up at 3 a.m. I can't fall back asleep. I was having insomnia before, but the jet lag has just been killing me. So I think that's part of the other thing is these disasters happen. And then I'm just like, I've got no emotional reserve left because I'm starting out from just complete and total exhaustion. It's actually extraordinary to me that I'm able to still function because I don't think I've ever in my life had this little sleep for such an extended period of time. And yet I'm still able to keep going, which is pretty amazing. But I'm hoping maybe also tonight I can get another 6 hours, maybe a little more, catch up. I should go take a nap instead of talking to the camera. I wanted to tell that story because it was so crazy. And I'm hoping tomorrow I have to pack up, leave more early in the morning than I wanted to because I have to drop the car back off over on the coast in Civita Nova instead of going straight to Perugia, which is what I had originally planned on doing. Drop the car off there at the rental agency to deal with whatever that is. 4 hours of trains to Perugia, which is a bummer. And then tomorrow night I'm in Perugia. I'm there for 2 nights, and then Lucca. And hopefully once I'm in Lucca, I can establish a routine and I finally can get a little exercise and I'll sleep and recover. This week has been a whirlwind. It's been a lot of disasters. It's been a huge learning curve. It's been some great times, incredibly beautiful scenery, and a lot of prosciutto. All right. Until next time.